All right, let's get right into it. The Detroit Lions have been predicted to sign a new defensive end on the free agency market. So Bleacher Report is thinking that they're going to go big, spend big, because they have a little bit of a window here where all the big time players, that all of our impact players, are young rookies that aren't up for their big deals yet, or young, or second year, third year, whatever, that aren't up for their big deals yet. So there's a little bit of a window here. Let's go for it. Sign it. This is the year you would sign a big free agent, and then from there you taper back and go keep drafting guys, keep drafting, because your own free agents are going to have to, you have to pay up for them. So let's take a look at it. Bleacher Report's David Kenyon predicted that we will sign Minnesota Vikings defensive end Danielle Hunter, 3-year, $67 million deal. This includes $51 million guaranteed for Hunter. So this is interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because initially you're like, man, nah, I don't know, I'm probably good. But the more I read this, the more I'm like, you know what? This could be interesting. His value, quite literally, has never been higher. While it's bad, self-inflicted timing for the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions are lurking with a major pass rush need. Now, don't forget, we have Hutch, of course, but we really don't have another pass rusher. We've got guys like, Charles Harris never worked out. The Acquire brothers aren't working out. It's Pascal, those types of guys that aren't really, we need another edge rusher. He has been a Pro Bowler 4 of the past 5 seasons, including last year and this year, right? So it's not like he's tapering off. I mean, the guy is on fire. Last year, just the year we just completed, he had 16 and a half sacks, 22 quarterback hits, 4 forced fumbles. I mean, he's in there. He is exactly. Can you imagine that? Having 2 guys rushing that could impact the game would be huge. Here's the deal, though. He's 32. Don't like that. And that's why I wonder, a 3-year contract seems like nice, but man, I just don't think you give that much money to a guy that's that old. But at the same time, it's not like you're paying for what he did 3 years ago. He's just had 16 and a half sacks. So let's say he falls off a little bit and has 10 sacks. I mean, that's more than everybody else outside of Aiden Hutchinson combined on the opposite defensive end. So it's worth it. The Lions were first in a lot of analytical pass rushing categories last season, such as pressure rate, hurry percentage, and quarterback knockdown. However, they tied for 23rd in sacks with 41. Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil combined for 16 and a half of those 41 sacks. So you bring in him when he could have 10, and there you go. Landing Hunter would give the Lions a Pro Bowl level edge rusher opposite of Hutch, leading to potentially 30 to 35 sacks between the two of them. So it's really interesting analytic is that the Lions get in there. They force the quarterback to move. We saw that a lot, like even in the NFC Championship game. But what a difference, right? Between, okay, yeah, he moved around. Brock Purdy moved and escaped for 8 yards versus a 6-yard sack. I mean, right? That's it. Now we're waiting on James Houston. He's supposed to be healthy next year, but I mean, that was a major injury. He came back, he tried, he really wasn't able to. He injured it in week 2, came back for the playoffs. I mean, which seemed like 18 weeks later, like literally almost was. So we need to do that. Now we'll be targeting an edge rusher in the draft. So if you look at the NFL draft, kind of the mock draft, the Lions picking at the end of the first round, they go corner here. I wouldn't be surprised to see, there's Chop Robinson right there, right? A couple picks before. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lions do something that we're not expecting. We all know that. But the edge rushers aren't very deep in here. I mean, kind of, but you don't have a ton of just volume of them. Whereas corner, like there's corners everywhere. Jared Verse, Florida State, the UCLA guy. So you kind of see it. Braylon Trice, Darius Robinson. So as we pick again in the end of the second round, there's a D lineman out of Oregon there. There's Isaac, Penn State. Geez, Penn State. Penn State's always got a lot of good players. And James Franklin just isn't that good of a coach, really. at the end of the day, because Penn State has players. Okay, there's edge guys out there to draft. That's fine. And we'll do that. But do you go and splash and try to just we got a window here. Now you've got two premier edge rushers. Even if Hunter gives you 1 year and then the rest of the years he falls off, you make the contract in a way that you could get out of it after 2 years. I think he could give you 2 years at least. And then, that third year's we can cut you without any problems type of deal. So we make it look good on paper for you. You got a big 3-year, $70 million deal, but it's not. I mean, there's different ways to do it, but it'll be interesting to see how the Lions play it. Another thing to look at is this first round pick. You kind of look at the guys in this 15 to 20 range. And the reason I do that is just because who might fall to us, who could fall. And Quinnen Mitchell, Toledo, 6 foot, 196 pounds, type of player that nobody notices right out of Toledo, nobody talks about, that keeps just rising up the draft board. I don't know if he'll go up that far, or if he might fall to us. Nate Wiggins, the natural selection is a corner, but I just don't know if Brad Holmes is going to do that, because he just never does what we expect. Because you can always go back to 2021. We didn't have a wide receiver, like literally on the roster, and he goes and picks up Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. It's like, we need a wide receiver, and he gets this guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're like, all right, I guess he's kind of small. Never really heard of him. All pro. So it's like, okay. So if we don't get a corner in the first day, second day, the draft's in Detroit, everybody's like waiting for it, and we get one in the 3rd or 4th round, trust that he's probably going to be good. Like, we can trust on that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Still waiting for my Dan Campbell jersey. I'm just thinking it's not coming by now. It's been a month. So in the day when things come 2 days after you buy it, that's probably not coming, but says it is. Says it's coming. Says it's coming. I don't know. Craig and I'll be live for the draft this year again. Can't wait for that. That's just awesome. Let me know if you're going to go to the draft. Is anyone going to the draft? Don't know how I feel about that. Part of me thinks that'd be awesome. Part of me thinks it'd be terrible, just because you're standing around waiting for your pick. But it'd be cool to be there. I don't know. It's right here, so it'll never be back. I mean, I should say never, but I'm sure they're going to cycle through all the cities before it comes back. So it could be 15, 20, 30 years. So it might never come back. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.